When you have a domain you're trying to work with that's too complicated, the thing to do is to abstract up a level where it will become simpler to work with.
And something, a management philosophy, quite counterintuitive, and we both like it, is TOC, theory of constraints. That's next to self-organization, one of the columns of the Blue Dolphin network. So if you should describe your understanding of the theory of constraints, how would you describe it in easy words?
In order to talk about theory of constraints, I probably need to talk about assemblage theory. But it's a gold-rat idea. When you have a domain you're trying to work with that's too complicated, the thing to do is to abstract up a level where it will become simpler to work with. Assemblage theory says when people are doing a project together, they are not is sort of a unified thing, like an orange, like this is the project here, right? It's really more like something made out of Legos. You have some developers, you have maybe a management person involved, you have the clients, and all these people are joined together, meshed together for the sake of this work, right? And then you have to think, well, if as in often the case, they have problems, issues, and they call in someone like Wolfram and Blue Dolphin for help. And Blue Dolphin comes in and says, well, if you did, TOC, things would go better. So what are they adding? What is Blue Dolphin adding to that situation that makes it go better, right? They're adding a certain way of talking and thinking about problems, right? So it's as if they would put another set of Legos in the mix, right? I look on TOC as a way of thinking, but more in particular, a way of talking, a group of people talking or writing things down about a problem that they can all share. Because if you have all those people in the room who are the stakeholders, in their own worlds, they have their own language. They call things certain ways. They deal with things certain ways. One of their big problems in order to make the project happen is they need to have an unambiguous, clear way of talking with each other. And the theory of constraints offers such a way. It says, well, if you thought about this, then there's a simple way of understanding the dynamic of what's going on that everyone can share. So that's its value. It's a very useful set of tools that can be added to a situation that's problematic. There's a kind of a difference here for me. So now we're going to talk about domain-driven design. Domain-driven design is similar, has a similar approach. But what it says is that in order for this group of people to work with each other effectively, they need to have a language that matches the problem. They call it a ubiquitous language so that everybody who's working on the problem from whatever point of view speaks the same language with each other. Okay. But one of the very important parts of domain-driven design is that the language does not extend infinitely to the whole company. It is only for the people working in that specific problem, that specific domain, right? So the power of the language is not that it's universal, it's that it's shared by all the people who share the same problem. So they have an idea they call bounded context. So a very important part of being able to work on a problem is being able to draw a line around it, being able to have it be bounded. Sometimes when I'm interacting with people who are into TOC, they give the impression of thinking that TOC is a mindset that expands in all directions kind of infinitely, right? I really like to add from domain-driven design the idea that it's a very useful mindset within a bounded context for a specific set of stakeholders trying to address a specific problem.
I agree on that. It's usually or rarely the case that you have like one management philosophy that fits all and that solves all the problems we face. So I like your approach to combine different ways of thinking and with that find the best solution. Well, wonderful, Ken. We are already at an end. So when should people reach out to you? What do you have to offer?
Well, my biggest interest right now, I mean, one of the observations about TOC that if you do it full bore, it can be complicated and difficult. So one of the things I like to think about is things people could do when their organization perhaps wasn't fit and ready to undertake the big effort like TOC that might nevertheless do some good for them and help get them more in a position. And the thing I think most about right now, and the thing I'm looking for people to try and work with, is to co-opt domain-driven design's idea about a ubiquitous vocabulary. So I'm working with a client right now, doing a small project, but part of the deal with him is that we would develop a ubiquitous language for the project. So with a ubiquitous language, you have the language is actually written out as a series of statements, and then it's used for planning purposes, but it also is written into the code base. So if there's a sentence, saying like, batches are stored in inventory, somewhere in the code, there will be references to inventory and batches, so that the code and the stakeholders are all speaking the same language when they're talking about the work. It's being very surprising. The developments are being very surprising. It changes the way I build things. It changes the client experience. And it's a limited, narrow focus sort of thing. Could easily be combined with something like event storming. But just the idea that we have some stakeholders and we're trying to work on something. My interest right now is to say, I could help you develop and use a ubiquitous language in this situation. And like, lubricating oil, that would make everything else work better. That, lots of problems would go away. That's the thrust of my attention right now, is to find some projects that I can work on like that, because I think there's a lot of possibility there.
Definitely. So wonderful. Thanks a lot, Ken.
As usual, Michael, it's been a blast.
What services does Blue Dolphin offer, and how do they help your customers, and how can they get in touch with you? How can they get more information?
Okay, what is Blue Dolphin? I think Blue Dolphin is the first and the really first worldwide community of people who want to do self-organized changes based on theory of constraint. Okay, and what is this? In the end, a theory of constraints is all about getting more output in a very short time without adding pressure to the people and additional resources. That's theory of constraints. And the self-organization part is coming to this point, even in huge organization, in a very, very fast way. And our aim as Dolphins is, of course, to share this knowledge and make it available to as many organizations as possible around the world. So our service is being a community, exchanging ideas, exchanging experience, and make this happen. There are friends of Blue Dolphin, that's the smallest version. There you get invitations to our gatherings, you get a newsletter, you get coffee breaks, small information bites. And of course, you get all the support you need to get it started. And there's, of course, a paid membership. And if you are a paid member, then you get additionally service. You get access to the whole community, to the whole network of dolphins with all their experience and knowledge how to do it. There will be question and answer sessions. There will be coffee breaks, even more and better ones. There will be knowledge updates if someone learned something. And you get access to our whole body of knowledge. That's something around 2 gigabytes of data. It's books, it's PDFs, articles, it's small videos and useful links, and even Excel tools to get started right away. So you have access to the whole body of knowledge of the whole Blue Dolphin network, and that's very valuable, by the way. And the third part, of course, and the third service is, if you want to really get started, sometimes you need to convince your boss, and we are helping in this. And sometimes it's a little better to have some guidance, some coaching through the Blue Dolphin process to really get your success as fast as possible. And of course, we as Blue Dolphin, we offer help in this. So we are a community from the beginning to the end, just to make you successful and your company. If you want to join, it's very easy. Just open browser, type in https://blue-dolphin.world, and there's a contact formula. Just get in contact, and you're welcome to swim with us in the ocean as a Blue Dolphin.